Don't see me, see me now. Hi everyone, it's Psychic Medium Elizabeth Grove, the Paranormal Priestess. Welcome to the Paranormal Priestess YouTube channel, coming to you straight from the spirit chair, and always so glad to be here, so to be. We are now in the Lionsgate energies. Oh my gosh. If you're watching this, whether it's 8/8 today or the day before or whenever you get to this video, we are in the Lionsgate energies. Super powerful. If you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Elizabeth. I am a medium, divine channeler, remote spirit extractor, white witch, and divine alchemist, and I also happen to be a divine feminine on the path of ascension. So today I would like to talk about masks, and this is a subject that's coming up. And of course, with the Lion's Gate bringing through a lot of energy, it is burning away so much that is not you. So we are going to be having a lot of things come up to the surface. And now is the time where we're really going to be coming into our empowerment. And we are going to really start to live from our truth, express from our truth. And for so many, it's been about, wearing masks, hiding, being afraid to be authentic, really not knowing who you are, right? So this subject is so very important to talk about because I find in sessions, when I do reading sessions for people and people's teams step forward, their angels, their guides, their masters, they talk about actually what's blocking them from moving forward. And a lot of people come to me when they're feeling very stuck and they're at a crossroads in life. And certainly masks and why they're developed and the patterns and the behaviors connected to those masks, that kind of information often comes up so that way people can understand it, and then we can work on, okay, what would be the best way of transforming those blockages so that way we can move forward and actually be in our authenticity. We can actually be in our integrity. We can actually choose ourselves. And that's when life really starts to get better, when we get real. So, wow, how are masks even created? Well, people go through a lot of traumatic things in life. Life is not perfect. People often develop masks when they grow up in households where there are different issues there, whether it's a rejection or abandonment, whether, one parent is really present and the other parent isn't, or both parents aren't present, whether you grow up in a household that maybe is abusive, or you've gone through things that have been abusive, maybe you've been bullied in life. People can develop masks a lot of different ways. For a lot of people, they feel very different. Right? For those who identify with being a star being or a star child, often we do feel very different. We operate different. We feel things on a different level. We think on a different level. We're often very creative souls. We're often sometimes very shy, introverted types of souls. Often nervous. A lot of people who are starseeds have anxieties and panic disorders. It's very common. Some people don't know that. And, when you are going through life and things have happened to you and you've had these experiences that are not experiences that are unconditional love, right? We feel like we don't belong, right? We feel that we're rejected, we're abandoned. And what ends up happening is that we reject ourselves, we abandon ourselves. And we feel like the world is abandoning us. And we end up creating these masks so that way we can navigate our lives and we feel like we can be accepted that way. And we feel like, okay, well, I didn't receive validation when I was younger, when I was a young adolescent, but I can actually be validated if I wear this mask, if I wear the mask of the good girl, the good boy, if I wear the mask of the player, right? Someone who just loves to just kind of like be the Casanova, right? Or we develop a mask of being the temptress. We develop the mask of, being cold, right? Having a cover of toughness, right? Where no one could get through it. There are so many different types of archetypes. People develop masks of the victim, right? Of always being that victim, being in the victim consciousness. So, people develop masks that are based on false power, right? False value, because some people have never felt valued. They never felt valued growing up. But yeah, people can also wear masks that are based on just, oh, I'm never going to get anywhere in life. I'm a victim. Right? Things always happen to me. I always have bad luck. So there's so many different types of masks that we can develop, but they're all very limiting and they're all not who we truly are. And it's very tough, especially in today's world with everything going on and the earth really purging up so much karma and everything being exposed, all this dark negativity and manipulation and violence being exposed. For many people who are different types of souls, star beings, angelics and things, advanced souls, it seems very, very scary. Like, how do I come out and I be myself? Right? Some people are very afraid of judgment because they have been judged when they were younger. I want you to keep some things in mind with masks and how they're developed. So we go through these experiences, traumatic experiences, right? We hold on to these things that have been projected onto us. But keep in mind where a lot of these things come from, their root causes. Root causes come from the bloodlines, the ancestors, right? Their hard times, their struggles. They've been through wars. They've just been through times where it's blood, sweat, and tears based on how much that you have, right? Based on value of what I gathered, right? The hunter-gatherer kind of mentality. Scarcity, lack. It's a lot of these programs of the ancestors actually passed down onto us. But those who are here to spiritually advance, those who are here to ascend, we're not carrying that. We're not carrying those. Okay? And actually goes back even further than that. It goes back into even other lifetimes where we have been heretics, where we have gone through war, where we've been judged, where we've been betrayed, where we've been abandoned. And no, these things do not just go away. This is why we have to go through karmic cycles. So we have to go through karmic partners. And for those of you who resonate with being beloveds or twin flames, oftentimes the karmic partner will be that partnership before you have the twin flame come in. Or you're in the middle of that karmic partnership and the twin flame comes in. But either way, the karma, all those lessons, they have to be learned. That karma has to be balanced before the twin flames can actually balance their energies and connect at that higher vibration. So masks, it's really time for us to be asking ourselves very important questions. And if you are someone who is doing something just because you feel like that's just the way the world is and you should be doing it, I definitely ask that you take the time to meditate on why you are making certain choices in your life. And that's a good way of just understanding where you're wearing a mask. In other words, are you a people pleaser? Are you choosing certain things? Are you doing certain things because you want to be validated by other people? And I take social media, for example. There's plenty of people on social media that are looking to do that. Why are you doing something? Is it bringing you pleasure? Are you happy that you made that choice? Does it make you feel good that you made that choice? Are you connected inwardly to that choice? Because a lot of people, they want to wear that mask because they want to fit in. They want to be accepted. And so a lot of people make choices that are based off of what other people think all the time. And I can't even tell you how many countless readings, channelings that I have done where this information really comes up into the surface, and Archangel Michael brings up a lot of that. Is to that, okay, well, things are not working well between myself and, say, a twin flame partner. There's been a lot of separation and up and down and back and forth. And it's not because of just one partner, never will be. It's because the two partners actually are not in their authenticity. They're not in self-love. They're not in self-acceptance. They're wound matching, and many times they're matching masks as well. So it's really time for us to ask ourselves these questions and to really understand who we are as a soul. What do we represent? What are we afraid of, and why are we afraid of it? And chances are you will be able to trace back a lot of these things back to childhood, back to when you're a young adolescent, back to school days, back to your first jobs, back to when you grew up in your family. But just recognize too that yes, it's passed down from ancestral patterns and from other lifetimes too. There's a lot of comparisons in today's world. I mean, it's so easy to see that. You know, for those of you who still resonate with social media, people are always comparing, right? Who's got the better picture? Who's got the better six-pack? Who has more cleavage over here? Who's got the better angle or better lighting over here? Who has the better vacation? Who has more views? Who has more likes? And it's like it's hard for some people to really distinguish the reality from the illusion. It's like it's become so popular to create masks. I mean, I love Halloween. Halloween is my favorite. For anyone that knows me, you know that. Halloween is my favorite. And I love to dress up, and I love creepy and all of those things, paranormal and all of that. But it's so very important to me to understand who Elizabeth really is, what really makes me happy, what do I truly desire, to ask myself really deep questions, and to then make choices that resonate with me. Not to do things just because it's what to do or what you should do or for other people's reasons. So a lot of people create covers. If you are one of those people who always say yes to someone, or say yes to everything, and you really mean no, it's definitely going to be a time, and the Lion's Gate will bring it up for you, where, yeah, you've been over-pleasing people, you've been sacrificing your own needs for other people. You have not been respecting yourself. But why? Where in your life have you felt like you were disrespected or disregarded, not wanted, rejected? Rejection and abandonment usually go together. Judgment goes with it as well. Are you one of those people who are used to being the aggressor or the controller, controlling everything, needing to have the upper hand, needing to play a game, needing to manipulate the situation in your favor? Or someone that you're dealing with, a partnership perhaps. Yeah, you know, it's a brave thing to come back to yourself. It's a brave thing to admit to yourself and take accountability for operating from trauma. That's what it is. It's operating from those traumatic wounds and parading around in a false identity so that way you can feel somehow like you're safe and secure in the world or can get by in the world. And this is not the time for that anymore. Your light is way too important. The colors that you shine are way too important to stay in black and white. Truthfully. If you have felt for so long like you wanted to express yourself out there in the world in a certain way, if you felt like you needed to express yourself to a person, to a partner perhaps, or come forward, finally take the initiative, say something, say how you really feel, expressing truth. It's the time to act from truth. Because guaranteed, when you're in your truth, when you're in your self-respect, when you're in your integrity, when you are choosing yourself and you're making choices in the world from that, That's when life starts to move and not remain stagnant and stuck. And that's when you are going to attract the things you actually do desire, but you've been blocking off for so long. You're going to attract opportunities that are wonderful, better friends, right? Better intimate connections, a spiritual connection. And so many of you are on the spiritual path, so things will work better with your beloved, with your twin flame. But it has to start with you. Remember, the change that you want to see in the world begins with you, right? Yeah, it does. And so I feel, very, very strongly about this. And I know that just like you, I go through all of the shadow times and the triggers and the purges. And it's difficult because when the masks, what often will come with it are patterns and behaviors. Right? And so many of us are ashamed of those patterns, ashamed of those behaviors, or have been so used to being in those patterns and behaviors that are connected to the masks that we don't even know who we are anymore. We've lost ourselves. Right? And how many times can we say that people have lost themselves, like when people are really popular or have celebrity status or something like that, and it gets to their ego, and then they start creating these different false identities and masks, and they start acting a certain way, behaving a certain way, or they develop addictions because they're not happy, they're losing themselves. Right? Or someone else is running the show, or someone else is manipulating them. So it's difficult, and I just want to say, when we're on a path like the Ascension path, it truly is about breaking free from the 3D matrix and creating our own reality, because if we don't do that, absolutely will the 3D world try to create it for us. It will still try to create us and tempt us. It will absolutely control us like this, because so many people are still asleep. So many people, even though there are a lot of people awakened, so many people are still also wearing those masks and operating from those lower behaviors and those patterns, because to them it's a lot easier than having the Band-Aid ripped off and having those wounds underneath it exposed. That's where the real hard work lies. But I have to tell you, and I just want to end it with this because I know, the video is getting a little bit long, but I'm getting just so emotional with this. I really am feeling this. So thank you for allowing me to be raw, as I always am, unedited and raw. It's so important to dig into that work, as hard as that work is. It's so difficult to do, but it's so worth it to get into those wounds and to really understand them, so that way you can release what's not serving you, send love to your emotions and love to yourself. Be gentle and compassionate with yourself when these things come up, because I know shame comes up, regrets come up, guilt come up, resentment comes up, anger comes up, all of those things. That's why most people do not want to touch that. They don't want to touch it. They don't want other people to see it. They don't want them to see the real them, because they don't think they're enough. They don't think they have enough worth, enough value. But that's the only way that anyone can truly really be their best version, is when you are brave enough to go into those things, to transform them at their root causes, and then align with your real light, so that way you can truly express that true light in the world with confidence, with glory, with all the uniqueness and quirkiness and weirdness that you are, which the world needs. And you can really make a difference and an impact in the world with your gifts, with your talents, with being you, not somebody else, being you. I don't care if you've been popular for a long time. I know so many of you are getting started on your missions, but some of you have been out there for a while, and maybe you haven't been doing your mission from your authentic self. Maybe you've been afraid to be more real. Well, the Lion's Gate will be helping with that. And I am always here to support you. I know it's not easy, like I said, and I'm going through it with you. But if you feel like you do need the extra help, I am here. I know people were asking if I was doing sessions. I absolutely am. I am back. And if you feel like you would like a channeling, a mediumship reading to really connect with your team and really get specific as to what are the blockages and how to transform them, please definitely give me a shout out, theparanormalpriestess.com. I will leave all that information in the description below. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and hit the notification bell. I would love for you to be a part of this family. And if there is anything else that I have to say to those of you listening out there, yeah, matter of fact, there is. Come out, wherever you are. Take care, everyone. From the heart of the darkness is born the light. Brightest blessings, and I will see you soon.